I have been following my breath this week,
Yeah.
and when I do it, it takes me to, as I said before, my inner space. Okay, so also what I call maybe divine presence, because it feels like it feels this eternal
So who
presence.
are you imagining it takes to this eternal presence?
What do you mean?
Who do you imagine is coming into this eternal presence?
The one who is speaking right now, which is just the intellect, the intellectual mind, the
So,
person.
but the intellectual mind doesn't exist. The intellectual mind is in every moment new thoughts, with the memory of past thoughts. So
Yes, I
so there
agree.
isn't actually a separate entity that exists that's coming into divine
Yeah.
presence. Like who's experiencing that divine presence?
Yes, I can feel this. I mean, there is only divine presence, and I guess this is the moment it awakens. So it's not me going there. That's what are we talking about, or that's what you're saying?
So divine presence awakens to who?
To itself?
Okay.
Is that correct?
So no, it's not about it being correct or not, but
Okay.
who sees that divine presence awakens to itself? Who sees that? Who
The very
registers
divine
that?
presence,
Because
the very
divine
divine presence
presence,
itself.
but how does divine presence register that? Through a thought?
Oh yes, I get it. I mean, um, I get what you're saying, but let me try to express it in
Okay.
words. Let me try to answer your question.
Okay.
It's very difficult, but I mean, divine presence or pure awareness doesn't even, maybe I can say like this, it doesn't even know that it is awake. No, it's not this. I cannot express it into words, but I understand what you're saying, but I can't express it. You said who registers.
Yeah.
So who registers is the mind. So it's not divine presence that registers.
Okay.
Divine presence is so innocent
Yeah.
and original that it doesn't even think
Yeah.
about itself, doesn't
Yeah.
even register anything, it doesn't even
Yeah.
care about awakening or not.
Yeah. So it's the mind, it's the thought process that's registered it, which isn't a problem. That's what the thought processes do. But it's not the thought processes that wake up. But the thought processes register that something's happened, and whatever you think about it won't be a correct thinking about it, but it's an attempt to try to communicate about it.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that this intellect, this mind has to disappear.
No,
And it's no,
no,
sorry. It's not that. This mind has to stop thinking about the divine presence and has to stop
no.
referring to it.
No, I'm not
No?
saying that. No, it's just this. What happens in awakening is this shift from being that mind to being that divine presence which the mind is appearing in. And so it's almost like a shift round. So first of all, when you're totally identified with the mind, that's like the full screen. All you see is yourself, and you believe it's you that's experiencing, and you're limited to that person, and that's taking up the whole screen. And then it's like a shift round to this consciousness that's experiencing itself. It's totally an energetic shift, and then this consciousness is everywhere, and the I am is everywhere. And in that appears a mind. So the mind is no longer claiming, or this energy is no longer claiming to be the experiencer. The
Yes.
experiencer is this innocence, this childlike innocence that's here now, that's always experiencing the I am and the consciousness. And in and out of that appears this mind. And this thinking mind can think about what happened in the past and what happened in the future. It can't actually think about divine presence, because divine presence is instant and the mind is in time.
Yes.
The mind doesn't need to disappear, but it's this energy which shifts from seeing the mind as a functioning, as something that's appearing in this, and not as that mind being the experiencer.
So there is no need to destroy the mind.
No, totally not. The mind is a
But
functioning
why?
thing.
But why then the spiritual teachers talk about destroying the mind, destroying the ego? So why do they say that? Even Moody said that. I
Well,
believe to
everybody has a
destroy
different
the
way
ego.
of speaking about it. If you listen to Ramesh Balsekar, Roger Castillo, they talk about the mind as the ego, and they say the ego is a very important functioning. So everyone speaks about it differently. I tend to stay away from the word of ego because I did spend a lot of time with Roger and with Ramesh, and they speak about the ego in the positive, not in the negative. The mind, to me, is a functioning mind. The thing that disappears
Yes.
is this energy which claims that you are the mind.
Yes.
That's what gets relaxed. But the mind is like something that thinks, and it will change. The thinking mind will change as that energy stops claiming to be who you are, and it will become more expanded and more in line with reality. Like its thought processes will change and become more relaxed and become more peaceful. So Roger and Ramesh would speak about peaceful mind, like having a peaceful mind, but it's not the peaceful mind that wakes up. The peaceful mind is an
Yes.
effect. And I mean, my mind's not always peaceful. Sometimes my mind can get agitated, can pick up energies, or can have like a negative way of seeing things. But my mind improved a lot after the realization and after the shift. Like it became a lot more peaceful and a lot more balanced,
And
a lot more open, a lot more expanded. But it's
and
not the mind
this
that wakes up.
and this realization that you're saying, how was that? It was like
It was an
out of,
energetic shift that was instant. It had been
but the
happening.
moment how
It had been
you were
happening for many
meditating or
years
doing.
prior. It had been happening for many years, but it was an energetic shift of suddenly being inside the body, being Lisa, that was the mind and inside the body, to my essence that was always here, my birthright, being everywhere.
Yes, but you were the moment it happened, you were meditating, or it was
No,
like
it's a
a.
really, I'm sorry, but it's a really, uh, it's really unspiritual. The only spiritual part about it was I was listening to music that was spiritual. What was the music called? The music was this like I've forgotten their name. They're kind of semi-spiritual music, not that spiritual. Um,
Yes.
I've forgotten the name of them, but I was listening to them. That was the only spiritual thing I was doing. But actually, what I was doing was I was drinking a cup of tea with soy milk, and I was eating banana fritters with ice cream.
And then it
Uh,
happened.
and it happened. I really like banana fritters. But prior to that, I had done lots of meditations and lots of shifts and like lots of
Yes.
things had happened. But in that actual moment, I was being very unspiritual. I was in one of those mornings where I was like, oh, fuck it, let's just have banana fritters and ice cream for breakfast.
Yes.
I really like
And but
bananas in
okay,
cakes, in lots of different things. And banana fritters to me with sugar on, and when they're done right and they're nice and crispy, I really like that.
yes, but your seeking caused the awakening.
My seeking, I don't know what you mean by that, my seeking.
The awakening was a consequence of your personal seeking or spiritual seeking.
Well, I mean, it, it seems like in the story that it was cause and effect. So I'd done all these spiritual things and then suddenly there was a shift. But in the moment, it was just instantaneous and it
Yes,
was
but
innocent.
what confused me is that I mean, why only some people come to the full realization of enlightenment, and the majority of the seekers never come to it? Why does that happen? I mean,
Because
is it
because the people that
luck,
come to this realization have very good karma.
karma?
Yeah, I'm joking. They're very fortunate, very good
Okay,
karma, because that's the way of things. That's the way of things.
but that's bad. Everyone should be able to become, let's say, enlightened if they seek it or not.
That's your thought process, which is a negative thought process and is absolutely irrelevant, and is a thought process that comes from a root idea that God is unfair. It's got nothing to do with the actual
Yes,
scenario. It's an ego attachment, if you want to talk about the ego. An
yes.
ego
It is
attachment to
because
negativity. Let it go, forget it. Fuck that idea.
no, yes, I know it. It's because it hurts me that happens, that people
Yeah,
don't get
just like it
enlightened.
hurts you when your mother gives your brother more attention
Yes. Okay, so
and says that the brother is more special than you are.
Or
It doesn't matter. This is irrelevant thinking. It's based on past traumas.
yes,
If you hadn't got
you're
this
right.
past trauma in your body, then you wouldn't care.
Okay, but anyway, about the divine presence, as
Yeah.
I said, if I just follow the breath, it takes me to that presence. But the problem is that I keep oscillating. So this moment, I realize this eternal presence or this deep state of silence or whatever happens. At the next moment, I'm back into the intellect and
Yeah.
the conflicts and the suffering and the
Yeah. Let
ignorance,
it
and
go.
I
Let it
keep
go.
oscillating.
Let it go. God is
So,
unfair. Have a scream at God and be
oh,
like, I hate you, God, for making me oscillate. That's it.
okay.
That's it. You've got it. And it's not an easy thing. Like, I went through immense suffering prior to awakening.
Really?
Immense suffering, backwards and forwards, and
Yes.
screaming at God because it's unfair. It's not that you've got to suck it up and
Yes.
ignore it. You've got to absolutely fully accept it. So the mind oscillates. So now that's a thought arising now, connected to this feeling of it being unfair. So after we go off the phone, jump around and have a shout that it's unfair, hit your pillow or something, and then it's here. You're here again. Let it go.
So,
It doesn't matter.
okay.
This, I know it feels like it matters to you, but the only thing that matters to you is this moment. And you
So
can
it's a
emotionally release things, so you can see like your addictions to time, you can see your stories. So maybe because you're bringing up unfairness today, maybe you've got like an unfair story that you had with your parents or something, or
I
an
have.
unfairness that you need to release. And then here we are again. This is what's happening.
So it's okay to oscillate.
It's
It's all right.
everything is okay. Everything is okay. That's what's
Hmm.
happening.
Every problem is okay.
Everything that happens is okay. Everything that happens is the divine.
There's one thing that I don't quite feel okay with. You want me
Yeah,
to tell you?
sure.
So I was going to ask you about this anyway, that it is something that, even if it sounds irrelevant, for me, it is very relevant, very much important. It is, and I think it is important for every spiritual seeker also, which is body issues. So I have this thing that in moments of, we can say, emergency, not necessarily emergency, just moments of intensity uh, of adrenaline, adrenaline.
Yeah,
What happens is my heart, it starts beating very fast, and my body starts shaking, and I feel like I lose control, and this for me is weakness. I see it as weakness. I don't like it. I mean, I understand that, okay, being beyond likes and dislikes. I get
yeah,
it, but anyway, I would love to transcend this weakness. I want to be strong. Because I don't see this weakness like the heart beating very fast and the body shaking. I don't see this as an aspect of the higher self. I see this as weakness, as the lower self.
mm. I
So
think it's, I think it's human. Like, it's human to be afraid. Everybody gets afraid. I can assure you that Muji, myself, anybody will get afraid. If a lion was running at Muji, I'm sure he wouldn't stand there and sing a.
yes,
Um,
but Muji, he's stronger. He would not start shaking like I do. His heart would probably not be
I'm sure it would
like
be. It's
my heart.
adrenaline. It's a physical chemical reaction that happens to every animal.
But there's no way to be more
Well, the reason
more
that it's most
powerful in that
probably
moment.
the reason it's most probably happening into you, is it happening to you with very small things?
Yeah. Also, yes, because yesterday I was playing a game that I like to play. That sometimes I play, and in this game, I was just standing with two more guys in the game, and I wasn't expecting anything, and suddenly they started attacking me. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's just an example. They started attacking me to kill me. They decided to kill me, and it's just a game, but my heart started beating so fast, and I started shaking in the fucking computer. You
Yeah,
see, it's ridiculous. It's just a game, and because of the adrenaline,
yeah.
because
It
I believe I
might
have some.
it might be that you've in your body got a trapped trauma. So it might be that in that
Yes,
moment
yes,
there's a trauma that's happened to you earlier in life and it's reoccurring.
yes. I have a lot of trauma. So what
Have
about
you
that?
ever
What
been have you
about?
ever been to a trauma therapist?
I was seeing psychiatric this past few months. So yes, we can say yes.
And
But
that
is that
person special
relevant?
does that person specialize in trauma therapy?
I don't know if that's I don't know if I can say that. I just know that he's a psychiatrist and he understands about. He's very awake, really. He has a lot of knowledge. So I believe he has. To your question, I believe the answer is yes. I don't know.
Yeah, then he should
He's
be
very
able to
good.
help you with those sorts of things.
But I don't believe that someone else external to me can cure this thing. I believe that only the awakening can do it. I believe, or meditation or whatever. Don't you agree? This weakness, to destroy this weakness.
I think that it's something in the flow that can be worked on and can
Oh,
be made
I get
better in the
it.
flow on the bodily
But
level.
but just meditation won't be enough. I really need someone else.
You really need somebody else. What do you mean somebody else?
Like someone who can work with me to heal me, or just meditation is enough. If I just meditate, it will heal by itself, and I don't need another person to ask, please help me heal this trauma.
What's wrong
Really,
with other people helping you?
because I because they are not here all the time. I am alone all the time. They're not here 24/7. They are here only for 1 hour, only for a day in a week. I am with myself
Yeah,
24/7. So I must be the one who truly heals me, or I must be
yeah,
my own source,
sure.
of
That's
power.
that's true, but hopefully they can give you techniques that will help you.
Yeah, of course, that's possible.
Maybe what I suggested last time is still something that you could consider. Is being more in an ashram environment with other people that could support you.
I don't know about that, but maybe it is. Maybe it is a good idea because I have this belief that I can do this alone, like the whole spirituality thing and the integration and
I
the
think that's a really
alignment.
beautiful idea, and I think that, like, if it's your heart, as long as it's not an idea that comes from fear of people and fear of relationships and fear of intimacy.
I have some fear, of course, but I truly believe that I must do this alone, that I can't do it alone. But I have some fears. I agree.
As
I
long as that thought
admit
doesn't
it.
come from those fears that I can truly do it alone because you want to reject society and you want to reject people. But if it doesn't come from that, then go for it. But if it does, then I would suggest that maybe being in a routine and a schedule of a more ashram environment would be really beneficial.
Yes, because I believe it is hard to find this kind of thing in my region. See,
Yeah.
my
How
so
long do you play computer games a day?
I don't really play. Just I don't I don't really play. I was just playing yesterday. I don't necessarily play every day.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't want to take much of your time. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you very much for calling and being so honest and
Yeah,
open. Thank you.
yeah.
Lots of
Bye.
love. Bye.